So I've got my spreadsheet, Brits versus Yanks, which I'll just start up so you can see what that looks like. I've got 3 columns. English, this is actually English British, this is English American, and this one is Welsh. So we'll do it in the same order as I did it in the article. And what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to create my new term base just to get the definition. So I'm going to click on File, Create Term Base. I'll just call it Definition. Oh, and make sure it goes in where I want it to go. Definition, save. Click on Next. I'm going to create a new term-based definition from scratch. So I click on Next. I don't have to give it a name here, but I'm going to, just for completeness, I'm going to add English. I'm going to add Welsh because these are the only languages I'm working with. Click on Next. I'm going to add one field that I'm going to call variant. I select it so the properties becomes active. Click on here and I change this to a pick list, and then I add American and I add British. Okay. Click on Next, and then I take my variant and I'm going to add it at the term level. You could add it anywhere you want here, but I want it to be at term level because of what I'm trying to achieve. Click on Next, Finish. That's my term base complete. And if I click on the term base management window and then definition, you can see that I've got my standard setup, my custom field variant, and it's a pick list, and it has 2 values, American and British. So I can close that now, and I just remember where that is, which is in that folder. Come back to here. The next task I want to do is sort out that spreadsheet so the spreadsheet is in the format I want it. So what I'm going to do is, in this column over here, I'm going to concatenate these words. So I take plus A2. No, let me just do that again. Sorry, I clicked on the plus symbol, which activates the ability for me to select things, and I just selected cell A2. Then I type the @ symbol, @ and then I do open quote, close quote with a pipe symbol in between it, and the @ symbol, and then click on the next cell. And then when I press the return key, that's concatenated the 2 together. I then move the cell up so that it's in this cell, D2, and then go down to the bottom of my spreadsheet. I hold the shift key down and click with the left mouse and then press Ctrl D, and that just fills it automatically. I can then press Ctrl C, go back to the beginning, and in here I click Paste Special as values. So that's now taken these, and they're now values instead of a formulae. See that? So if I look up there, you can see it. So I can now delete this column, I don't need it anymore. This column is also redundant, but I want this to become my variant. So in here, whoop, it's not American first, it's British first. British, pipe symbol, American. So I don't do a formula here, I just type in exactly what I want. Go down to the bottom, hold the shift key down, press the button, press Ctrl D, that just fills it. You could use a copy and paste, but these shortcuts are quite convenient. So that's my spreadsheet ready. So I save that, and now I go and start up the glossary converter, which I've got in here somewhere. Glossary converter. So there it is. And I just first of all go to the settings, make sure my active synonym support is active, and then I check here and go and pick my term base, which is this one, the one I've just created. So that's active. I say OK, and now I just drag my spreadsheet into here like that. That picks up the languages. I make sure that my variant is a term field and it's at term level, and then just click OK. And then the glossary converter will go through and create my term base for me. Shouldn't take too long. Oh, there we go, processed. So if I double click there, term base has just been created in that folder. That should now be, I can exit this, actually I don't need that running. Here's my term base. So you can see I've got exactly what I want, 2 languages, the English is in synonyms with the variant and the appropriate attribute set. So now what I do to test it and to show you how that works, I'm just going to open the spreadsheet because that's got all the terms in it. In fact, probably what I should do, let's just open, let's hide these 2 columns just for the test. Hide those, and I'll delete the Welsh. I'll just hide that too. Hide the Welsh. I save the file and close it. Now we'll open it in Studio, so I should only be able to see the Welsh, which is what I want. So if I just translate single document just to open the file, I'm not a big proponent of single document for working properly, but for testing it's perfect. So I pick the spreadsheet. I've got Welsh to English already, so I click OK. This opens the file up in Studio for me to translate, and I should only be seeing the Welsh. There we go. So there's my Welsh down the side there. Yep. And what I'm going to do is go to Project Settings, and then under Verification I'm going to take my Terminology Verifier Verification Settings. There's no term base there at the moment, and you've got this little flashing symbol, and that's because I don't have a term base attached to this project yet. So if I click down here in the term recognition, project term base settings, I could also do in here, by the way, just to show you where that is. I could also add it in here, but a shortcut is here. So under the project term base settings, see it takes you to the same place. I can add my term base. So let's just make sure I go and take the right one, which is, let's just make sure this is the one I want. It's in this folder here. So I copy that path. I've got so many spreadsheets and term bases all over the place now. This one, that's the one I want. Okay, so I add that in. My languages are correct, and that's there. I can now go back up to the verification, and this time when I go in the verification settings, the term base is there because it's selected. So now I can say check for terms which may have been set as forbidden. Check it, which activates all of this, and you can see it's picked up the variant field, which is the pick list field that I added into that term base. So I can say that when it's American, give me an error, a warning, or a note. We'll just take a note again. Maybe you could also check for possible non-usage of target terms, so if you didn't use the terms at all you get an error. There's a number of things you can do there, but I click on OK now. Now as I move down, what you should be seeing is I'm getting my Welsh and my English here, and the term is recognised, so it has a little red mark over it. Now just to make it easier to see again, if I go to my hit list settings, down in here, and I select fields, and I select all of those, and click OK, and then OK. What that does this time is it just shows me the rest. It shows me the actual attribute against each term, so I know which one is which when I'm working. So if I was to type accelerator, you can see it's coming up with auto suggest and just return, and confirm that segment, I don't get an error. If on the other hand I was to type gas pedal and press return, this time I have the little note that comes up that says wrong usage of the term gas pedal. This term is defined as forbidden, and that's because gas pedal was, oops, if I go back up here again, gas pedal was American and accelerator was English, and it's as simple as that. And actually if I type something else altogether, say heavy foot, I get another error, and this time the error is because it doesn't contain the translated term for Esparden, accelerator, and that's because of this checkbox. Verification. That was because of this one, check for possible non-usage of target terms. So if I didn't use a term that I actually had in my term base at all for the translation of a recognized term, then I get that kind of an error. And that's how you use verification with a term base. Straightforward and pretty powerful, and easily customizable for pretty much any kind of spreadsheet that you get for your project. I hope that was helpful.